for the start.
It's no problem. So Alberto Gravali takes the honours of being on pole in the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo with a 1:42.7. Prince just behind him in another Lamborghini by a tenth. Armstrong 2 tenths behind. Hitchin, who's we expect to feature very strongly as last time's winner. He would have hoped for a bit slightly better result in fourth. Catchpole in fifth in the Audi, the fastest of the non-Italian cars. Chris Hitchin, Lamborghini, in sixth. Bracey in seventh in another Lamborghini. Gearing in eighth. Kranzrick from ninth. Bickley in 10th. And that runs out our top 10 nicely.
Yeah, let's get rid of that, and we'll let you watch the race.
Enjoy some racing.
Right, there we go. I'll throw up a map for everyone. So the map's going to show us the track positions for all the cars. So you'll see them running around there. We've made the map a bit bigger this week after we had a couple of comments about the fact that it's great seeing a map, but if we can't see the numbers on the cars on the map, what's the point in showing the map? So hopefully that help you out as the pace car gets off at the start of the race.
So the drivers just follow each other around. Line of stern, it's standard for GT racing. Have a rolling start. Normally leads to some slightly less carnage at the first couple of corners. Hopefully that won't be the case of the commentator and we end up with a mass pile-up into the first couple of corners, especially around Villeneuve chicane, turns 3 and 4 technically, which tend to be a bit trickier, especially on the exits. So the drivers just edging along now.
Yeah, you can see that Alberto's holding up the grid there, and they're off. Here they go. So Alberto's got a massive run off the two in second and third, with James Nick and James really end to end. Don't know who's going to get in there. Really close.
Yeah, Armstrong just picks it into the corner, and he's up into second place now. Gravali's already half a second ahead, but Armstrong will be definitely chasing him down hard. Oh, looks like he's had a bit of a wobble there as he's lost a couple more tenths going into Villeneuve.
Yeah, it could have been a bit of grass or gravel there. It's easy enough to do coming out of there if you carry too much speed off that left-right.
Of course, now uphill drag out of Tozer as Armstrong's really closed the gap now. He's right on the bumper of Gravali. There's only really one line here now for the Acqua Minerale. Got a complex section.
Yeah, I think the next place is going to be this chicane up the top if you can outbrake him, but you've got to be really close and really brave. But he looks like he might have the run, you know.
Yeah, he's just ever slightly... Oh, no, something's happened.
Oh, what's happened there?
Oh.
That looks like a technical issue he's had there.
Yeah. Because pulled out to the side, and he seems to have rejoined and gathered pace there.
Okay, you know,
whether he missed a gear.
He did go a bit wide in a corner a couple of corners ago, so he probably got a time penalty. Whilst we sit there and watch Nick now coming in to try and pressure Alberto, I'm going to go back to Gary Truebury, who's an amateur, but he looks like he's had a crash as well. So let's take a look there, see what happened. There we go. So as I said in qualifying, you follow someone through there, it's quite hard to judge your line. He's hit the AstroTurf and he's just spun it round. You know, it's been a really clean race so far. I'm going to just head over to third place and Jonathan Hitchin, who's got James right behind him now. And there's only been one incident and it's been really, really clean.
It has. I mean, whether it's aided a bit by the reduced number of runners compared to what we've had in the last couple of weeks. But one really to take note of, what an absolute blinding start, is Steve Oldham, up 14 places.
14
absolutely brilliant.
Places. That's amazing.
Absolutely brilliant start from him. He'll be very, very chuffed with that. I know he ran reasonably well in the last couple of rounds as well, so just seems to be going from strength to strength.
I'm just
the beauties.
Yeah, we're just going to head over to the group, including Steve, and there's a big old train. Look, here we go. There's Steve in the Mercedes. Is in a train of 6 cars we've got there, all within a second or so of each other.
Yes, this will just... They're going through this part of the circuit now. It's all about just remaining close on the bumper, keeping nice and tight, keeping within half a second ideally, up to a second, so that then you've got the slipstream coming along the start-finish straights, heading down into the turn 1 and 2.
Okay, it looks like we had a bit of issue earlier in the race. So about half a lap ago, Chris Hitchin came stuck out. So we're going to have a look at this and see what happened. A bit of a pile-up, as I understand it. So they're all coming into Villeneuve here, look. And here they go, there's 5 or 6 of them. Let's get the right guy. Just going to rewind it a bit. See what happened there. Looks like that's coming out of turn 3 as well. So where is he? Ah, look, so there's someone flashing in front of him, and he's been hit there by Stewart, and he's just spun around. That's really unfortunate for him.
He'll be devastated by that one. I'm sure there's a few expletives going on inside the cockpit right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. You get a car that's flashing like that in front of you, there's not much you can do about it. As we head over to James Armstrong in 3rd place, if someone's flashing in front of you like that and you're slowing down in a place with a car behind you who doesn't expect you to do it, it's only going to cause problems, and that's what's happened there.
Armstrong seems to have recovered well from his slowdown that he had earlier.
Yeah, we've had a couple of guys in the pits already, so obviously we've got Chris in there who towed to the pits after his accident, but Daniel Smith's had entered the pits as well, so he probably picked up a bit of damage. So we'll have a look later in the race, see what happened there, but I've just noticed that David Lewison's had an accident as well. He's down in 16th place in his class now, so let's just take a look and see what happened there. So here he is. Oh yeah, he's going to hit this grass on the outside, I expect. No, oh, he's just stopped. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's a technical problem, I would say. It was a horrible place to stop. It's going to really cause someone some trouble there, stopping like that.
It's a shame really, because he seems to have started well. He was maintaining position.
Yep, so it just popped up on Duncan and Tony here in 10th and 11th. They're quite close together. See how this one plays out. Got Duncan in front, Tony behind. The issue you've got with this track is that it's so hard to find a place to overtake. Not as bad as Brands Hatch last week, but really you've only got a couple of opportunities to pass. That's probably coming out of Villeneuve if you can get on the inside before the hairpin and into turn 1. Otherwise, it really is a struggle to get around anyone.
Yes, like we were saying earlier, it's why it's key to just maintain, keeping it close, coming out of the last couple of corners, and then just exploiting the long drag down to turn 1, picking up your slipstream. It's where, like you say, it's the only place where you can try and make an overtake on the brakes, down into turn 1, on the inside, where obviously, and then just hold it there. If someone comes alongside you, just maintaining it round the corner. Obviously, it goes round to the right, and it's you're back on the inside from the left, and then it's down to Villeneuve, which is the first corner's left, and you should have secured the position by then. Not to say we have seen some cracking racing before, where people still remain side by side the whole way through, up into the hairpin of Tosa. But
yeah, we just saw there the battle for 2nd place between Nick and Jonathan.
Yep.
Sorry, Nick and James.
Oh, yeah.
James taking all those sausage curbs, and even in these GT3s, it's going to damage the bottom of that car. They're a bit higher than the GTEs that I've driven around here, and hitting those curbs isn't going to do well. I think that may be a mistake from James, and I reckon he's going to get gobbled up now by Jonathan Hitchin as he's closed in on him.
Jonathan's absolutely all over the back of him now, nearly running to the back of him into Tosa. Got incredibly close, but like we were saying, it's just all about following. Oh, as he closes right back up again now. If he's got the drive, not quite. Oh, has James got a slow down?
No, no, I think he just disappeared.
It's where the camera angle looked like he'd slowed up a bit then, but so yeah, Jonathan looking to just maintain on his gearbox, keep following through so he can achieve the slipstream. He's currently 0.6 of a second down on James, so he's probably a little bit too far away from his liking. We're looking to see if he can close up a bit within the last couple of corners. But that gap's James has slightly managed to improve and pull out an extra tenth nearly, which will aid him all the way through. There we go. Yeah, he's safe for another lap.
He is. I'm just going to move over to Karl Kranzrick, who has a car right in front of him. It's the AM driver of Ken Bracey. So they're not in the same point system. So by taking this place, Karl won't actually achieve anything, and he's 4 seconds behind the car in front of Stewart. So if he does get past Ken and he closes up a couple more seconds, that might be enough to either catch up Stewart in the pits or try and outrace him. In terms of lap times, Stewart and Karl are about the same. There's about 3/10 in their last lap, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, surprised Karl isn't on the lights flashing it, trying to give Ken a bit of the hurry up to get either force him into a mistake or try and push him along, as he's just watching his the gap between him and Bickley just gradually increase, which won't be doing any good for his, as you're saying, for his championship prospects.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's quite difficult with the AM drivers that have come in late on, like Ken. The guys that have been running this league for 5 rounds now, they're not going to know how to react to some of these newer drivers. We're not going to know the ability of them, and we're not going to know how they drive these cars and what their experience is.
Bracey goes slightly wide there, coming out of Aquamanale.
Now I'm going to move up to Aaron Gearing and Alistair Catchpole, who are quite close together. So we've got Alistair in the... Sorry, my mistake. We've got Stewart there, and we've got Aaron Gearing in front of him. It's another pro and AM pairing with Alistair Catchpole. Same as the issue with Karl, just pulling out a gap because of these AMs being in the way of these pros at the moment.
Well, exactly, but we've got to just get creative, just keep tight within the main part of the lap to just exploit that start-finish straight, really. It's the only way they're going to look to get forward is just remain nice and tight and hit all the apex hits and exits all throughout the lap. So he's closed the gap ever slightly. He's got it within 3/10 here. Aaron has...
He has.
But the curse of commentator as he's slightly extended it there.
So I've just moved back to Karl here, and he had a go going into turn 1, but I don't think this BMW's got the drive the Lambo's got. Oh, there's been a couple of incidents in the last couple of seconds, so let's take a look. We've had Daniel Smith and Steve Olden have an accident. I don't know if that was together, but they are together on the timing board. So let's just take a look and see what happened there.
Steve will be absolutely gutted. He was having a brilliant race.
There's Daniel Smith. He doesn't look like he's going too fast there. So there we go. He's just slid off the track. That's an easy place to do. He's hit the curb on the outside. And that's a bit annoying for him. So Steve was off track for a couple of seconds as well. We'll go to him next. And he's jumped to the pits after this incident as well. So it's the same corner, look. Oh no, he's going to spin right round here. He's going to put it at the wall, I expect. Easy enough to do. There we go. And that's the end of his run, I'd say.
Definitely.
Right,
so as the standings have it, 12 minutes into the race, Cavalli leads over Prince, Armstrong in 3rd, Hitchin in 4th. We've got a bit of spin in there. Gearing's lost it. Gearing spun out. Yeah. Oh, he's losing places left, right and centre here. He'll be absolutely gutted. He was running really strongly. As Roberts takes a slam on the brakes, taking face of action, he's losing another place and another place. He's all the way down to 11th now. up from, I think he was running about 6th just before that. So he just slid off in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's right at the back of that big old train of cars now, unfortunately. So there's been a couple of incidents, as I was saying. So we're going to jump to Tom Carroll, see what happened there. He was off track for a couple of seconds. So here he is in the pink Lambo. He's come through Villeneuve. He's heading towards the hairpin here, and he might have just put too much on it going round. Yeah, and he's luckily he's missed by Damien Guy, who got in front of him there. Okay, so we've moved back up to second place again now. So just to run through the top 5, they are covered by a good 6 or 7 seconds now. The leader Alberto's pulling away. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Nick, who's about a second, just under a second ahead of James. So that initial run over the curbs and the sausages in turn 1 for James seemed to affect him for a couple of laps, but he's now back on the rear end of that Lamborghini driven by Nick. And Jonathan Hitchin up back in 4th. Surprise here. I don't know whether he's got any damage, but he's really not being able to keep up with these Lamborghinis. That really is the choice car this weekend.
Oh, definitely. So on the last lap, Armstrong set the fastest lap of the race so far with a 43.01, and Hitchin was nearly 9 tenths down on him. So that's where Armstrong's managed to pull out a bit more of a gap, give him a nice cushion, bit of breathing space where he can settle down into his rhythm. Hasn't got to worry about attacks from our race winner from last time out, Hitchin. Well, he hasn't got attacks from him, and he's managed to catch right up onto the back of Print now. There's Armstrong. The gap's really closed up, so that he's managed to get within half a second. That absolutely blistering last lap has really helped him to close the gap up. As Print was slightly wide there coming out of the chicane.
Yeah,
be interesting.
Be interesting. I don't think he was wide enough to get a penalty, so he should be all right. I think at this point, a penalty is really going to cause some trouble here for anyone. Some of these drivers, although there's a couple of seconds between them, a penalty is going to take 3 or 4 seconds off the time. I'm just going to head over to the a couple of incidents we've got. David Norman went off track on lap 7 a couple of minutes ago, so let's just take a look and see what happened there. So that is going into the chicane. Too much sausage curb there.
Yeah, and around he goes.
Yeah, nice simple one. So unfortunately for Tom Carroll, he's gone off the track again. But before we do that, James is really closing in on Nick now in second place.
So last time round he was about half a second behind. He's now closed that to within 3 tenths. He's absolutely all over the back of him.
These are both very good drivers here. Nick's not going to be someone who's going to bow to the pressure of James easily. So this will be a good one to watch as we come through into just past the 15th minute of the race.
It's last time round Armstrong set yet another fastest lap of the race with a 42.95. The first person to break into the 42s during the race.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a man on a mission.
And that's important in this league. You do get bonus points for fastest lap. So it's always worth trying to get that one in if you can. Definitely. It's managed to extend the gap as well behind him to Hitchin, which is now to nearly 4 seconds now. So these two are, as much as Armstrong's managed to close the gap to Print, they've been able to work together to extend that gap over right before race winner Hitchin. So Gravali still leads the race, currently running 2.8 seconds ahead of the pairing we were previously just watching of Print and Armstrong. Hitchin in 4th, and Catchpole in 11 seconds down off the leader in 5th. And as you were saying, Sean, got quite a few gaps starting to. Oh, he's passed him. He's passed him into turn 1. So he's
brilliant move there by Armstrong.
He's managed to outbrake him coming into that turn 1, and Nick really had to let him through there. There was going to be an accident if he didn't. So let's just go back and have another look at that pass from the inside of James's car and see what it looked like to him.
Textbook move. Down the inside. Out to the apex to cut him off. And he's on his way.
Yeah, he'll be looking to close that gap on Alberto now. Alberto's been running. He has been running mid 143s. Oh, and Nick's just gone off the track there behind him.
Oh, he spinned it.
He spun it. Yep. So let's just go back and have a quick look at that. See what happened. So there he is off the track. Let's take it back a little bit further and we'll see exactly what happened to him there. It might be the case of him just being too hot coming into that double right-hander.
It looks like he's got it on the grass ever so slightly.
Yeah, there we go. That's deadly there, that is, and he'll be kicking himself for that. I'm going to head over to Duncan Roberts live, because there is a 3-car train here. We've got Tony in front in the BMW. Duncan is in the McLaren and taking all the sausage curves.
Incredibly close there. Must have missed each other very, very narrowly.
And we've got Aaron Gearing, who's trying to recover from that spin earlier in the race as well, all over the back of the pair of them.
Hold tight, everyone. This could end up in an accident here, going down into turn 1.
Yeah, hopefully these guys will keep it clean. We do look to enforce any bad driving with some kind of penalty, so it depends on what happens here. Hopefully they'll keep it good, but that's so close. There's half a second between them. Look at this coming into turn 1.
Geary's got a real good run. Looks like he's going to get. Can he get it moved under out on the outside? Not this time.
Oh, and Tony's almost lost it.
And that's going to ruin all of Roberts' momentum as well, where he had to stop to try and take evasive action, then ran into the back of him. He's managed to maintain position over Gearing very nicely there. Took a little bit too much curb on the inside there, bouncing across the sausage curves, but well defended. Just recomposed himself and get back into his rhythm and chase down Tony.
Right, let's while this is playing out, because they're going to have a little gap for a minute. Chris Hitchin went off the track a minute ago, so let's just take a look and see what happened there. So we're on board with him. So he comes into the
it's coming into a chicane.
Yep. Oh, there we go. See, I've done that so many times. You hit too much of that curb there and it pulls you around. There's nothing you can do. I mean, the ideal line there is to take as much curb as you can, but not too much, and he's unfortunately just taken too much there. As we go back to Tony and see what's going on with that one.
That's the trouble there. When you end up facing the opposite way as well, there's no real runoff, so it's a real nightmare to try and manoeuvre your car back round again to rejoin the race safely without impeding someone else and risking taking that penalty.
Oh yeah, these GT cars are not designed for slow turning manoeuvres.
So gear is just dropped back slightly. So this group of 3 that we're currently watching, there was around about 6 temps covering all 3 of them. Now Tony Blanket-Sobs managed to pull nearly 9 temps over Duncan Roberts, just behind him in 10th place, and Gearing's then a further 4 temps behind Roberts.
Right, it looks like Karl Kranzrick, after being stuck behind Ken for 5 or 6 laps, has finally gone past him. So let's just take a look there. There's been more trouble for Nick as well, because he was obviously fighting for 2nd place there with James Armstrong and then Spann. But he's now down into 5th place with both Jonathan Hitchin and Alistair going past him. So that's a surprise. He must have had some sort of damage after that spin. I mean, it looked like a pretty flat spin. It's a bit of a surprise. Yeah,
unless he's had another accident.
I can't see anything. Oh no, actually he may have gone off track, but we'll take a look. Let's just see if this was the same incident we saw before. We'll watch these three come into the last couple of corners and see if anything happens. It's quite easy to lose your car into this last section.
As the catch poles just come into the pits, as the pit window starts to open now for a lot of these drivers, where they'll need to take on fuel to get them to the rest of through the rest of the race.
Yep, as Tony goes into the pits there, we won't expect them to take tyres. It's only a 40-minute race, so it is just going to be fuel for a lot of them. While these guys are coming in, there's going to be cars moving about all over the place. So I'm going to go back and take a look and see what happened to Nick a little while ago.
Definitely.
Okay, so this is his spin originally, where he's gone off the track. It didn't look like he took too much damage there. He took a bit of curb.
No. But nothing bad at all.
No, nothing bad at all. And then slightly after that, he did get passed by Alistair. Oh, there you go. So it is actually the corner where he went off, where he's lost all those places. He had to wait for the guys to come past him before he could get going again.
So many tricky corners. When it comes to rejoining and you're facing the opposite way, it's so tricky, especially with the fast nature as well of Imola, where you've got such large closing speeds from the cars that are then approaching you as you're trying to recompose and get the car pointed in the right direction again and rejoin safely.
Oh, definitely. It's made even harder with this being a classic track with big gravel pits as well. You're not getting any traction on the outside. Okay, looks like we've had a couple of accidents come in. So we said earlier that Karl had gone past Ken Bracey for 6th place, but Ken's gone past him and Karl's gone off the track. So we'll just take a look there and see what happened. So there we go. It's the chicane again. It's getting everyone, and that's a time penalty there as well for Karl. He's not going to like that.
No, not one bit. It's a real shame after working so hard to get past Bracey, and then it's all gone within a heartbeat, and he's back to square one again. Maybe you can try and work with some magic and get him on the pit stops, perform the undercut maybe, get in refuel and get out again and pass him in the pit stops. As we've currently got Roberts in the pits and also Norman. Just on the pit stops, Tony Blenkinsop, absolutely brilliant stop by his pit crew. Managed a 10-second pit stop, absolutely brilliant. Compared to Alistair Catchpole, his team managed a 12. And very similar for Duncan Roberts and David Norman as well, in the high 11-second pit stops. So Tony's definitely going to be able to make up a bit of track position by that nearly 1 second saving there by his pit crew.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's where it all counts. If you get that entrance and that exit into the pits, you stop at your pit box well, you're going to save 2-3 seconds on even quite a long pit lane like this one. So it's definitely worth practicing those pit stops, and you'll see from the total pit stop time that we've got in front of us here, Tim, that so Tony, he did a 49.47 pit stop end to end, whereas Alistair did a 25, so that's 7/10 that he saved there just from pitting.
He'll be definitely very happy with that. Oh, it looks like Karl's managed to get past Ken Bracey as Ken's come into the pit lane. That should hopefully release Karl now and be able to put down some solid lap times and use the pit stops to get ahead permanently and hold on to that 6th place and chase down Stuart Bickley, who's in 5th currently. He's 9.9 seconds up the road at the moment. So Karl will be definitely man on a mission now, looking to close that gap.
And obviously those two have still got a pit. In terms of people that have not pitted, so the top 6 have not pitted. Tom Farrell in 10th hasn't pitted, and he had an accident a while ago as well, which I'm just going to go back to, see what happened there. He went off the track for 3 seconds, so that's quite some time. Here we go. And it looks like it's the last corner again. Oh no, it's not. It's the it's the quick left, isn't it? Sorry, quick right. I've never actually done that myself on that corner.
I don't get quite where he's lost the 3 seconds from, because that's quite a bit of a drift. Nice, safe, easy restart. Oh, as he's currently had Tom's just said he's spun again. literally just now, and he's currently facing the tyre walls. I think it's at Villeneuve, as he's trying to flick the car around again.
Okay, we're
He's lit at the rear and he's facing the correct way.
watching these two here, Duncan Roberts, go into Villeneuve as well. So he's cleared out the way in time for them. But we've got David Norman all over the back of him at the moment. Right, it looks like Alberto is still out on track, but James Armstrong has now done his pit, and he'll be.
And we've also got Print Bickley and Karl Kranzrick's coming to the pits as well.
But Jonathan and Alberto are still out. So what we're going to do, we're going to follow Jonathan, because Jonathan was quite close to James when they came in. So we'll stick with him for a bit, and we'll see if he comes in this lap and whether James can get past him on the undercut.
So, obviously, we've got the,
Jonathan's just gone off the track as well.
Oh.
He's gone wide. That's a time penalty. That's going to cost him
It
even
is.
more. He'll definitely come into the pits this lap, I'm sure, and James should be clear past him.
Definitely, he'd be absolutely frustrated by that hitching. Such a shame, because it's what you call clear track now to really get the hammer down, work on that gap with Armstrong, and try and push himself further up the field in best track position. But it can be undone so quickly as Farrell's come in. Our leader's in. Gravali's in the pits currently. He's just come in.
Yep, so Alberto is the only one in the top runners that hasn't pitted, and here he comes. So let's head over to James Armstrong and see where we get with him. So he's just coming through the chicane now.
Yes, there's also Hitchens just come in as you predicted there, Sean. We've got Farrell in the pits and also Guy as well. So that's everyone now after this lot of pitted. And Smith's in the pit lane as well now.
Yep, so this is the last few pitters. The only guy that hasn't yet pitted is David Lawson, but it looks like his race is ended anyway. So here comes James. The other two are on their way out the pits.
Oh, this is going to be close between him and Gravali.
He's past Jonathan. Gravali is out, and he's a second and a half ahead of him. There he is, going into turn one.
So James was running around about 7 or 8 seconds behind Alberto Gravali before the round of pit stops, so he's managed to really get the manoeuvre on during that period and close the gap right up now to 1.7 seconds behind Gravali.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very happy with that. He's probably also quite pleased that that mistake, not that I know it, from Jonathan Hitchens saved him from having a car right behind him. There's a good 10 seconds between second and third place now. So what are we at?
Someone gone wide. I can't see who it is. It's in an orange car.
Okay,
Looks like one of the Lamborghinis.
That'd be Damien Guy. He's gone off track. Let's just take a look and see what happened there. If I can get the right one. There we go. So he's Villeneuve there. So he's gone off. He's carried a bit too much speed into the second part of that set of corners, and he's just gone wide. It's easy enough to do. You try and take as much of that curb coming off the Villeneuve corner into that one, and if you get it wrong, that's exactly what happens.
Worth looking at, Sean, is as the catch pole, Nick Prince managed to close the gap up nicely as Alistair's just run slightly wide there, possibly a bit too much on beyond the green AstroTurf coming out of the chicane. Might pick up a 1x for that potentially.
Yep, potentially has. The guys here, we use the 17x 25x rule, so 1x shouldn't affect him in a half hour into a race. But if you hit 17, you do get a drive through, and 25 is a disqualification. I think he'll be fine there though. But I'm going to head over to Karl Kranzrick, who's half a second behind Ken Bracey again, and these two have been trading blows the entire race. But look at the traffic.
Oh, that was incredibly close there. I think it was Dan Smith nearly Karl Kranzrick running into the back of him.
Yeah, so they're in the same car there as well, so there's not going to be much between them unless there's damage. But Karl's really got the run now.
He's right up his bumper as he looks to go up to the inside. Set to back out slightly, which might just give Stuart Bickley the breathing space now.
Yeah, you saw the front end of that BMW. It's big and heavy, and it was twitching And they're past Tom Farrell there as well, the other back marker. But Tom really had to get out of the way there, and he's lost his place to Daniel Smith.
He's lost a lot of time there, and Karl Kranzrick also lost a bit of time as well, just having to manoeuvre down to him. So where he's gone from being right on the bumper of Ken Bracey, he's now nearly 9/10 behind him. So all that hard work is undone, unfortunately. So he'll have to build himself back up again to mount another attack as Ken Bracey lives to fight another day. It gives him brief space as he goes slightly wide just coming into the Aqua Minerale complex.
So you mentioned Alistair Catchpole a moment ago. Let's just head over to him now. He has got Nick, as you predicted, really close to him. He's past him. There we go.
He's got him up the inside, and he's through.
Yeah, so I was just watching their times during that lap. I think he must have closed about 2 seconds a lap on Alistair there. So I don't know what happened to Alistair's lap, but Alistair did a 1:44.36, and Nick did a 1:45.16, and Nick did a 1:43.96. So a second and a half difference in those laps, and that's why that time fell away there, and Alistair's lost that place.
He's managed to, I think, he's taken a slightly better line there as he's pulled out 2 tenths just in one corner. As Nick Print there.
Yep, I think he's now fully recovered from that spin, and he's going to be pushing. Let's just take a look at James and see how he's getting on with Alberto.
It's Alberto Grivalli there. He's managed to pull out a bit more of a gap after the pit stops. Around the pit stops, James had closed the gap to around about a second, but now he's Alberto's managed to extend it out around about 2.8 seconds.
Yeah, it could have been a slowdown going into Aqua Minerale there. It's 3 second gap. That's kind of the time you'll get. It's worth just taking a look there to see if James did go off track.
Oh, definitely. So on the last lap, James.
Oh, there goes turn one.
Yeah. Oh, trip across the gravel. Lucky not to unsettle the car and end up spinning.
Yeah, I think
doesn't seem to affect him at all.
I think that might have been the case of, do I take the sausage curbs or the gravel there?
Yeah, definitely. So James lost a second and a half in that last lap from that little trip across the gravel, and it's just unsettling him.
Yeah, so as you said, they were within a second, but there we go. Let's take a look back at that Ken Bracey Karl Kranzrick battle. They are within a second of each other, and we'll keep an eye on the front two as well, and let you know how that's going. But these guys, it's been half an hour of a race just between these two. It really has.
Yeah, it's just been nip and tuck trading places. Karl working hard, getting past Ken Bracey, only to end up losing out and ending up back behind him. He must be getting sick to the back teeth at looking at those rear lights of that Lamborghini.
I'm just going to head over to Nick again in P4, because he is right behind Jonathan Hitchin now. What is he? He's
about.
Oh no, sorry, my mistake. It's Alistair that's behind Nick. Apologies.
Yeah. So Alistair's close up to him to 1 point. Nearly taking a big chunk out of that corner alone. So around about 1.3 seconds is Catchpole behind Print.
So there was
just to hunt him down.
There was just a quick 1-2 with Ken and Karl again there that we just missed. So I'll go back and look at that in just a moment, because Karl is within a tenth of Ken.
He's close right up onto the gearbox of that Lamborghini. He looks right in behind him. Now, if you were Karl, do you just hold position and wait for the start-finish straight? Or do you try something potentially up the inside into the last corner?
I'll be looking for a T1 move here, personally. I don't know how quick that BMW is compared to that Lambo, and how they're getting out of that last corner, though. Tom Carroll has jumped to the pits after coming off the track, but I will go back to... Just going to let you know that James Armstrong has done a 1:42.79.
Wow.
That
is blistering.
Clearly made up for that mistake as we watch Karl and Ken come across the start-finish line there. Now, they are the closest guys on the track, so we will stick with them. if anything happens in the race for the front, we will let you know.
Oh, Karl tries to go around the outside there, but not successful. So he takes back in behind again.
Yeah,
It's
he's
a
tried
brilliant
that.
battle between these two.
Oh, it's brilliant. I think he's tried that move a couple of times now, and what Ken's doing is really protecting the inside line there, and that Lamborghini is quite a wide car, and if you can't force him to get wide early on off that last corner. Sorry, you're going to say something there.
No, yeah, so I was just going to say that Ken looked to be heading slightly wider line, but he managed to pull back in to tighten that line up. It's, I mean, the BMW doesn't seem to be lacking at all on straight line speed, so the top speed of Karl's managed to wring out of it is 167 compared to... Oh, it's Karl.
Karl's gone.
Karl's lost it. He's gone straight on.
That's a time penalty there, and now he's done that. I'm going to head back over to Alberto in first. He's only 1.5 seconds ahead now. So that time has come down by James, and James has done yet another fastest lap. He's almost a second faster a lap now than Alberto. There's 1 minute left in this race, and classic James, he's pushing it all the way to the end. The last few races and the last few league races he's had here on iRacing UK, he has really pushed until the last moment, and he's doing it again. We'll keep with them all the way to the end of the race now.
James had a few accidents last time. Do you think he would do a lot better for improving on his consistency? Or where can he find the extra few attempts to convert these, well, in this case, his second place into a win, especially going forward? I think it's more tap time required, or just maybe a little bit patience, or where he's just literally running on the absolute renegade edge.
He is. He is pushing that car for everything it's got. The problem he's got, though, is Alberto is in exactly the same hardware, and he's going to really struggle to. They're probably running quite similar setups as well, so he's really going to struggle to get round. And I expect now, with the race hitting 40 minutes, this is going to be the last lap.
I think so. As he rounds the last corner of Cavalli and heads out onto the start-finish straight now.
There we go. That's it. That is it. So
congratulations, Alberto Cavalli with James Armstrong in second. We've got Jonathan Hitchin come across the line in third place to round out our podium. Prentice follows behind, and Catchpole just couldn't quite close the gap in the end, but brilliant race by him. He'll be happy to maintain position. We've got Stuart Bickley, who's finished 4 places higher than his starting position. He'll be chuffed to bits with that. And let's have a quick look back. Very relieved, I would imagine, Ken Bracey crosses the line after pretty much a race-long battle with Karl Kranzrick in the BMW. We're trading blow every single lap. As gearing comes across the line, and looks like Duncan Roberts has managed to secure the final place in the top 10.
Okay, so we'll wait for the guys there to shuttle through, and we'll get the classified results up very soon. What did you think of that race today?
Some absolutely brilliant racing, especially between Ken Bracey and Karl Kranzrick, going incredibly close. James Armstrong, absolutely stunning performance from him, where he built himself up, lost out through spin or going wide to then close the gap again. I think just be hoping that he can't, sorts out his consistency a little bit more and start converting this, the second place into wins. I know he was tipped to be one of the stronger drivers and possibly even fighting for the championship. But I know where he's just lacked a couple of spins in the last few races, which has dropped him down the order of dropped him down the championship as well. But I think definitely a mention has to go to and driver of the day to Gary Truby, up 11 places from his starting position.
Yeah, I think he did gain 11. I don't know whether that number we're seeing is 100% accurate, but he it just seems a bit strange with the rankings we've got here. But he's definitely made a lot of places up.
Definitely.
Right, it
Def-
was. It looks like in terms of fastest lap, I think that has to go to James Armstrong today with a 1:42.69. He'll probably dispute that in chat later, saying it's a 1:42.6 dead, but we're seeing a 1:42.69 here. So he gets the extra point for the fastest
def-
lap.
Definitely. I think he's going to be extremely happy to that. To come within a second of the real life lap record of a 1:41.8 set by Dries Van Toor in the Audi R8. It's absolutely stellar achievement there by James.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So let's pull these standings out and see where we are in the championship as we finish round 5 and head off to Spa next. So here we go, the championship standings. So I have done that wrong. Just bear with me for a second. That's last season's standings. Bear with me.
Oh, the wonder of technology.
Oh, don't get me started.
So absolutely brilliant racing today. A lot of guys will be definitely happy. A few people frustrated. But yeah, some absolutely stellar driving there by many people. It's a shame we didn't have Paul Busby join us because obviously taking it as his drop week. He scored 0 points. We've had Jonathan Hitchin, who's finished third, a strong third as well. So that'll help to cement his points position.
There we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Here are the championship standings for the end of round 5. So yeah, as you mentioned there, Tim, Paul Busby missed out on this round, and that's dropped him down to 5th in the championship now, with 41 points. But we do have a really close battle for the top 3 or 4 with Jonathan Hitchin on 67 points. That third place kind of gave him a couple of points, but not really enough to stretch his lead. Alberto is on 61 points now with that win, and Nick, who's really after the Road America crash where he failed to get past the first lap, he's been quite consistent. I think he'll probably call that his drop week if he does well at Spa next week. And then James Armstrong, who is turning into probably the best comeback driver we've seen here. It's always worth watching. You may see a mistake from him, but he'll give you a good race all the way to the end, and that's what we've seen again today.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Just having a quick scan through the comments. Alan Broadhurst saying, shame for James. Always fast, but has an incident of some sort every race. I'm sure that's something James will definitely be working on to help to convert into higher positions going forward in the future. Beating, great race. Can I get a link to join the Discord community? I'm certain we can sort that out for you there, sir. Who else have we got?
Yeah, a couple of people there looking for a link to the community. So we've got Chris in chat, and looks like he's DMing a couple of you guys. So if you haven't heard anything, let us know. Let us know here, and we'll try and sort you out as well. There should be a link to our Facebook group on the Twitch profile as well. So if you can't get anything here, try there. If not, we are present in the iRacing Discords under the UK and Ireland community general forum channel, so check there as well. In terms of our next events, Sunday night tonight. The next one we've got is Tuesday, which is the Radicals. So our Radical League's in its first season. We're on to round 3, I believe, at Laguna Seca. That's a really great league, that one. So it's a Radical SR8s. We're down fueling them for a 25-minute race, so the guys have to fuel. They're uber light, they're really powerful, and twitchy as anything. We've given the guys fixed setups, and it's all about who's quickest on the day, and that's a really good one to watch if you're interested in having some more entertaining racing coming your way. Next week is the Daytona 24. Where we've got 5 teams competing across LMP, GTE and GT3. So we'll be thereabouts. We'll be streaming from this channel. We'll be streaming from a lot of our drivers' channels as well. So come check us out there. Hopefully we can get past that first corner, which is always a nightmare at Daytona, and do some good racing, and at least try and last the 24 hours if we can, which then leads us on to Sunday night. So a lot of those drivers who've been driving today are also competing in the Daytona 24, and on Sunday this time next week we have our final event of the GT3 Championship, which is round 6 at Spa. We're running a special race there. We're going to have a larger grid. We're going to be running at 8 times time multiplier. So the guys will be starting off in the day, they'll be running through to about midnight. So we're going to see some fantastic night racing there. It makes it even harder to commentate because you can't see what's going on, but the cars look great. The racing will be close and there'll be plenty of incidents. And finally, we'll find out who the champion's going to be in the GT3 League. So we hope to see you on Tuesday, and if you can't make Tuesday, please make next Sunday. It's going to be a great event for the final round of the UK iRacing GT3 Championship. My name's Sean, and with me's been Tim, and we hope to see you soon. Have a good night.
Oh, and of course, don't forget to follow as well and subscribe, as everyone does these days.
Thank you guys. See ya.